Okay, let's talk more about this breaking news at this hour with my guests here. Behnam Taleblu is with me, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, and our colleague Khashai Jarnedi, he's the BBC Persian Washington correspondent. Gentlemen, it's great to have you both in the studio on this momentous day. The U.S. and Israel launching strikes on Iran, Iran then launching strikes across the region, it says, in retaliation. Khashai, I want to start with you because you have been in touch with contacts in Iran, in Tehran. What have you been hearing?
Well, what I've been hearing in the past couple of hours after the announcement that there is a possibility of Ayatollah Khamenei being killed is that the sense I'm getting is a sense of it's a celebratory mood in Tehran and other places I've talked. Many people left Tehran, evacuated Tehran as the war started, and many of them have the habit of going to the southern coast of the Caspian Sea. The cities there, people have villas there, go stay there. The roads are full of traffic, cars are at a standstill. The moment the possibility of death was announced, people just get out of their cars and start dancing. There are videos on social media from Tehran. You're seeing firecrackers. You're hearing people celebrating, cheers erupting in the capital. So many people, they haven't forgotten that last month, thousands of people were killed while the government tried to suppress the protests. They haven't forgotten this. And that was the last chapter of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's leadership, 36 years of leadership, as Lise Doucet just said. Yeah. So that was the closing chapter of his rule, if it's verified that he's been killed. People haven't forgotten that. That's why you're seeing what you see today in Tehran, other parts of the country, you hear people are cheering up, they're happy. That's the reason.
Behnam, how do you see this? With these reports, again, we've heard President Trump now say that the supreme leader is dead. The Israelis are saying that as well. The Iranians are saying that's not the case. But despite all of that, where do you see where things stand right now for Iran and its leadership?
Well, great to be with you on this historic moment, Sumi, and also in studio with our friend Khashai from BBC Persian. No doubt this is an inflection point, not just in the 47-year history of the Islamic Republic, but potentially even if operations continue in the larger U.S.-Iran relationship here. We know in President Trump's comments, in the video, I should say, the one he posted earlier as military operations against the Islamic Republic were underway, the last part he actually alluded to something that the Iranian people could do to take back their government. Much of that will depend on the nature of the targeting if Israel and America pushes through or pushes past what's left of Iran's security state. Make no mistake, Ali Khamenei was the region's longest-serving autocrat. He was the second supreme leader in the Islamic Republic, but part of his success for those 30-plus years was institutionalizing his power. So now it'll remain to be seen if Washington, if Jerusalem will go after that apparatus of repression, will go after what's left of command and control, will drill down to foster defections from below so that unit-level cohesion of these security forces, so that local initiative is taken over by local fear and that the guns go to the sides rather than continue to be turned against the population or turned against Israel, America, and perhaps even more importantly, we should say here, Iran's Arab neighbors. There are some here who are taking a premature victory lap that potentially you could have a military government come in, something a la South Korea, and engagement with military governments would lead to modernization, westernization, and then democratization. This military is the same military right now in Iran that has been firing at civilian targets just across the Persian Gulf, at hotels, at airports, at other civilian infrastructure. I don't think it's possible. I think we're at an inflection point. There's no way out but through, both for President Trump as well as for Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Khashai, we just heard Behnam refer to it as an apparatus of oppression. And certainly President Trump has indicated in some of the phone calls that we've heard him have with reporters today, it sounds like he's saying this mission has been a success already because he says that the supreme leader is dead. Have you heard anything from any White House officials, from President Trump's administration, that would indicate how they plan to take the next steps if indeed the supreme leader has been killed?
Well, first of all, Iran is not Venezuela. You just don't go to Iran, take out a leader and say, mission accomplished. He mentioned there's an institution there, both in the guards, the IRGC, and the leadership. Second, President Trump, I think he was interviewed by Axios, where he says there is an off-ramp for the Iranian leadership. They either will capitulate, the successors, They would either capitulate and give Trump what he wants, or Mr. President, or the Trump will carry on with the attacks and will get rid of the whole system. So we have to see. We have to see when they announce if Khamenei was killed, what kind of succession will be announced, and if the succession is willing to negotiate and capitulate and give the Americans what they want. It's too early to say. I mean, the next few hours are going to be very important, but it's really very early to say what's going to happen.
Behnam, how do you see this as well? I mean, if you look at what Khashayar has just been saying, it is indeed really a pivotal moment, isn't it? Not just because we are hearing these reports the supreme leader has been killed, but just off the back of those protests, those deadly protests where thousands of Iranians were killed. It must be for Iranians also a moment of fear and uncertainty.
Fear and uncertainty, but I would actually say pushing past the fear, hatred, and happiness. You know, I don't know of any other society where you can kill 30 to 40,000 under the cover of an internet blackout, and just weeks later, the youth of that country take to multiple university campuses across multiple major urban centers and continue to protest, and not only just protest, but invoke some pretty harsh statements that probably would be bleeped out by BBC Persian in those slogans. And that population will simply not be giving up anytime soon. They bear the scars of what happened in the month of January and the month of December, and they will be taking that to the streets, highly likely, when the bombardment stops.